Hey, it's Inspiration4U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Inspiration4U. This is a show where we're trying to tell some really cool thing, attract inspiration for everyone in Unit4. I'm honored today to be the host for this show. My name is Claus, I'm the Chief Technology Officer. And with me, I have two great people who's gonna help me being inspirational. The first one is Greg, and the other one is Mario. Welcome to you both. But let's try just give a few sentences about ourselves. Greg, what are you doing here in Unit4? And
Okay, so I joined Unit4 in 2019 as a team member of automation team and monitoring. I am web developer and also cloud developer, and during Crazy Lab days, our idea was to move our monitoring system to new generation using artificial intelligence. So that's me.
Thanks, Greg. Over to you, Mario.
Well, I joined Unit4 in 2011, so it is more than 10 years ago, and I've been in different roles: standard engineer, senior engineer, principal engineer, lead engineer, and now I'm the principal architect on the CTO team. For the Crazy Lab event, our idea was about working with notifications, so we notification from product to user.
Yes, actually, so now you both gave it away slightly, and I think the very observant viewer will notice that we all have the T-shirts because we're going to talk about Crazy Lab Days, of course. So let's talk about Crazy Lab Days and how that, we believe that's a very good place to learn new things and get together with people. So this year we went back to a on-site event where we the year before or the previous one we had a remote one. So I know that Mario, I believe you were on the remote one as well, right? So let's try to talk a little about the difference between these two things. So what is your experience with remote versus being on site?
The difference is the others, yes, for the Crazy Labs in remote, it is like it is pretty fine because you can join all the sessions and so on. But when you are at the same place that all the people, you can manage to connect in a different way.
And what about you, Greg? What was your experience in this year's event? How do you feel it?
Yes, I think the event was great. It's very, very interesting to see what we are able to accomplish in such brief period of time. And also, I have opportunity to develop myself in area different than my daily work. The event was great for me.
So for an example, you said as an intro you're working in the delivery and monitoring part of the ops operations, right? So what was it you got to do here that weren't really as you used to do in your daily work? What was the major difference?
Yes, the main difference was that I have opportunity to think about new innovation. We're trying to improve our idea, and then we have also opportunity to meet with experts from different areas to discuss our solution. So yeah, this is the difference because as a developer, I have the brief instruction. What should I do? And right now, I'm thinking about the idea. Then I'm thinking who can help me and ask about some feedback. So yeah, this is the difference.
Okay, cool. What about you, Mario? You've been on it a couple of times. What do you find really great about Crazy Lab Days?
Well, the main thing is that you can join and meet a lot of people at the same time in the event, people from different roles. So you can talk about your idea with all of them, different people, and it is really good to also expose your idea in a way that everyone can understand. Because sometimes, at least on my role, you talk with technical people most of the time, so it is easy to connect in that area. But when you have to explain to other roles, you have to provide the what is the real idea, not what is the technical idea.
Right. So this this opportunity to sort of work with different domains like product, solution consulting maybe, is really helping, and have this close, tight time frame is helping to innovate the idea faster, mature the idea, and get some input. Is that the same for you, Greg? Is that sort of the same?
Yes.
So it's sort of like this sort of very condensed period of time where you're trying to take an idea and flush it out to something tangible that actually works. Since you were sort of on the teams that excelled, let's hear about how it went. So, Greg, what happened with your idea afterwards? What did you guys do with it?
Yes. Right now, we have roadmap for our project because we realized that what we did during Crazy Lab Days is like proof of concept that is possible to achieve. And right now we are trying to make it. Let's say we are after some discussion with ServiceNow guys, and we are thinking who can help us with developing that solution. And also we are thinking about who can maintain that, because we realize that after we deploy that solution and also prepare some instruction for cloud operation, how to use it, then still probably we need to collect feedbacks and maintain all implementation in ServiceNow tool. So yes, right now we chasing guys through ServiceNow to to start looking for guys.
So you're moving more into engineering, actually, product development, and sort of dealing with all those things that in there, like backlog and so forth, and finding the people to actually work on your project.
Exactly. But right now we have someone behind our back who can approve our idea, let's say. So it's better than without, let's say, winning idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So you have sponsorship. That's awesome. So Mario, tell us about your sort of what's happening with your idea. Where did that go? And you know, is it going anywhere? You guys actually won.
Yeah. Well, the idea is now in the first phase of developing, because we are we are talking with the product management in order to check if we are aligned with the product management vision about what should be the MVP of the product. And also with David, we are working on how should be the architecture of this product. So after that phase, I think that we can move to a team or different teams to start developing.
So what you're saying is that this is also going to be moved into production at some point down the road when we get it on the roadmap.
Exactly. We are talking now with Rafael Artacho, the director of product management, about how to move the idea to the backlog.
So what I think is really cool here, so for the audience, is that Crazy Lab Days, of course, is an innovation event. But what you had this year was that we had an internal winner and an external winner. With that, I mean not somebody coming from the outside, but somebody who were focusing on essentially on the inside part of the equation. And then the other team, that was Greg's team, and my team was focusing on some more outward forcing towards the customers. And what's really, I think is really cool is that it shows that innovation is just not about what the customer gets. It's also what we can do internally to drive our own, efficiency or whatever you want, being better at serving the customers. And it's also one of these things that we probably need somewhere to change a little about how we think about things. Because generally we have a tendency to think about in the context of the end user, the customer's end user as the consumer, but we have a ever-growing internal user base that's just as important, that we need to help. We have support, we have services, we have all these people who also need something from the product. It's not just about building features and functions anymore. So I think that's really a cool thing that we saw this year, that we have this increased automation project. This is internal, helping us be more efficient internally, providing more timely information. And then externally, we are providing a new notification service like what Mario, these guys came up with, that helps us build better product, essentially. So it's sort of for both things, right? Maybe we should, Mario, so if you think about it, right, you've been with the company for many years. Actually, you've been here for more than I have. So thinking, so the necessity for having these innovation. How do you look at that? For example, from having these events towards generally how we did before we had these kind of events. How do you see that? Do you see any difference? Do we do more or less, or how do you look at that?
Well, on this event, everything is very condensed to work precisely on your idea, and it is not like spending a lot of time in meetings or whatever. It is just focus on the idea and talk with the people that could help to the idea to progress.
I think you're pointing out something that really helped drive things faster, is that you are working very focused on something, and there's not a lot of other stuff going on in that period, right? You're
Yeah,
saying
exactly. You don't have a distraction on other things. It is like you are focused just on the idea, and you meet with the people that can help you. Not you are not working on other areas at the same time, attending different meetings. It is just this. But also you have the social events at the end in the afternoons and evenings that help you to recover for the all day working on this. And also you meet it is fun to meet people that you know from a long time ago, but also you meet new people that it is from now to the future can help you, and you can help them on progress on and innovate on products.
that's actually that's right. It's not just about sitting there working. Although I remember the first Crazy Lab days we had, one of the complaints was that people worked. They said they spent 1 week working every day. There was no social gathering, so at least we got that in, some social activities. So, Greg, how do you feel about the sort of the thing Mario mentions here? There's of course building the solution, but there's also all the social elements around it. How did you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I think the time is great, but also hard because you spend that time very intensively. You have to finish everything in a short period of time. But of course, like Mario said, after your work, you have time to explore city, to meet each other, and yes, we also spend some time to play ping pong, play the table tennis. So yeah, I participate in that event with pleasure.
That's great. So maybe we'll see you next year. See, maybe Mario gonna be the next year again. He has a long track record in this.
But the one thing is that it is intense, but the day after you can feel proud that you got what you did, because it is not just working, and but you see the result in no time. You're
No,
not spending months to see if it is getting somewhere.
no, that's true.
You know at the end of the week.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes that's true. You get really fast to a sort of a conclusion whether this is doable or not. Like we have had projects that 1 or 2 days in, they get, okay, this is not going to fly anyway. So it's also a good place to sort of find out if this is actually going to go on.
Yeah,
So
and
listen,
you also learn about the ideas of other teams. Like you, Greg, I didn't notice about that situation, but now I'm aware. So it
yeah,
is pretty good as well.
absolutely. So let's try to something completely different. So this is all about providing solutions. It's all about creating either internal or external in terms of consumer internal consumption. So, for example, if people are out there listening, thinking, "Oh, this sounds cool. I really want to go to this," and of course, everybody can go. You don't necessarily need to be able to code. But if you're sitting listening to this and you say, "Hey, I need to learn to code," so what would be what would be the best programming language to start with? Let's start with you, Greg.
I think it depends, because if you like artificial intelligence, then I can say Python. If you like web developing, then probably TypeScript, JavaScript. But if you don't know what do you want exactly, then I think C# is the best in my heart always, because I started with C#, and I think this is the language where you can achieve everything. So you can build artificial intelligence, you can build easy programs, you can build web application only written in C#. So yes, for the start, if you don't know which area is for you, then yeah, start with C#.
Okay, cool. What about you, Maya?
Well, I'm with you, Greg, but I think that from the beginning, more than focus on one area, I think it is pretty good to try to be full stack, because then you can see if your product, if your idea, you can see from end to end, not just seeing the front end or the back end or the cloud. Or so full stack with JavaScript or TypeScript on the front end, C# with .NET Core on the back end, but also DevOps, because the developers should provide the full product, not just picking some stuff in one place.
That's a fair point. That's really that's well said. Well, I guess I'm the oldest guy in the room, so on this one, so I would go with C. There you go, because it's sort of for the languages you mentioned, it's the grandfather. So it's like the Latin. But actually, that brings us to an interesting topic, because I read this article recently about what is the best programming language in terms of sustainability.
Yeah.
Right. So which language actually consumes the least amount of energy to run? And it turned out C was the one. I don't know if any of you guys saw that.
I saw the list, and it was C, C++. So in that case, we should forget about TypeScript or Python, because it
They're
is
not
like
very good. Well, actually, I think also Rust was pretty close on that list. But this is actually a super interesting topic, is sustainability. How do we create sustainable, in terms of with all the environment stuff going on, how do you create architecture that is actually how do you create sustainable solutions that use less energy, which also links into sort of the architecture. How do you architect solution? What is the services you use, like serverless, Azure Functions, Amazon Lambda, these things that only run when used is sort of good. But you know what, guys? I think that's actually a topic for another podcast. So I would thank you very much for being here. Maya, was great to have you. Greg, it was great to have you. I really appreciate you both being at the Crazy Lab Days this year, and it's been awesome meeting up with you guys again, and hopefully you'll be the next year as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening and looking. Look forward for the next upcoming episode of Inspiration4U. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.